Hey, so let's try something new here. The other day I was messing around with my Dr. Scientist BitQuest, which is a fantastic and wonderful effect, but it is mono. And I wanted to kind of see what I had in my arsenal that could kind of be an end all or end of the chain, do it all in terms of my reverb, delay, modulation, that sort of stuff, and really thicken up that sound. And so I grabbed these two boxes, the Matthews Technician and the Walrus Qi Etherealizer, and I wanted to compare them. They're roughly the same size. Actually, hold it like that because they're both top jacks. Roughly the same size. They both have reverbs, delays, and modulation, as well as some sampling, some granular type stuff. But I wanted to see how they'd work, and I wanted to then show y'all kind of the differences in how they function, because they are very different in how they function, and they can sound really great, but which one of these would work for you? So we'll check it out in a bit, but let me kind of give you the rundown on both of these. So like I showed you, they're both top jacks, stereo in and outs. They also have, well, on the Matthews, or the Technician, you've got the USB-C here for firmware updates. It is also on the Qi. You've got MIDI in and out also on the Qi. Those are all via 1/8" jacks there. The Matthews does have expression control, which the Qi doesn't, but because they're both MIDI, you can do a lot with MIDI, especially if you have like a MIDI, like an expression to MIDI type controller. So taking a look a little bit closer at the Qi itself, it has 4 different effects all laid out here on the top level. There is no menu diving in this, which is really sweet. You've got your controls here for your chorus. There's 2 different choruses to choose from, and in fact this little button here helps you determine whether it's a tri-chorus or stereo. Your delay is here. You can choose, you only get 1 delay, but you do have 3 different options in terms of the subdivisions. Your granular is here, both from a grain cloud to a sampling function. And then this level of controls, this line here, you've got your reverb, you've got your master tone, and then your overall mix dry. You've got your mixes on top for all of your different effects. You also have this button here which can change the path, so whether you want to be series or parallel. And then you have these 3 foot switches. So right here is your on-off. Also long press that to clear out your grain cloud, like whatever's in the buffer. This is your freeze knob, or button, sorry. You would hit this to engage the sampler and kind of freeze it to be like a micro loop. You can also long press this to ramp that reverb up to 100% and get really ethereal and creamy. It's great. You also can do your preset switching for the first 3 presets in true Walrus fashion. So you have your red, your blue, and your green, both of those at the same time. You also get a 4th, which is the live mode, which is what you see as everything is. And then you have your tap tempo, which can do taps, but it can also self-oscillate when you hold that down. So with the Technician here, it's a little bit different. You have only 2 foot switches. You have an on-off, and then you have a tap tempo or a looper control. You have 8 knobs, which all have secondary functions. You have 4 arcade buttons light across the top, and they each have 4 different LED colors to coordinate with what you're choosing. They also have secondary functions. Now the secondary functions can kind of be controlled by this bottom middle arcade button. Basically, if it's turned off, then you're at top level, what you see. If it's pressed and turned purple, then you're at secondary level. And it is really cool because you have, you've got, at least laid out here, bold letters tells you what's top level, and then the italicized tells you what's bottom level. But you can do a lot of different fun controls here. You get 4 different reverbs, 4 different delays, and while there is no chorus dedicated, you can actually add that modulation via vibrato to either the reverb or the chorus. I'm sorry, your reverb or the delay, or both. And then you also have like your looper functions. Your delays are all laid out over here, those controls, your reverbs on this side, and then you have one for your looper as well. So a lot to dive into here. It's not quite as easy to see what you're doing as it is on the Qi, but it is very powerful. And a cool function that I have not really checked out a whole lot yet is the ability to unsync the stereo signal, which means that the adjustments that you make on the modulators and whatnot for the left side and the right side can be individual. So you can do one thing on the left and one thing on the right, which is kind of wild. So, all right, let's dive in and listen to these and see how we like them. Okay, so kind of like we talked about, the reason that I got down this quest was because I found a really cool setting on my Dr. Scientist BitQuest, and while I love it, it's in mono, and I do like me some stereo. So thought to myself, how do I thicken it up and give it some more? And then that kind of led me to the question of, well, if I only had one space here, and I needed something to kind of do all in one, delay, reverb, modulation, and some sampling or whatnot, what would I choose? Would I choose the Qi Etherealizer, or would I choose the Technician? So that's kind of what got me here. I've got the Qi and the Technician all set to true bypass, so once they're off, they're off. What you'll hear tonight is my telly, my custom shop telly with Seth Lover in the neck, going into what you see in the top right. It's a Gnome Electronics. I don't even know what it's called, but it is a little 12AX7 12AX7 tube preamp, going into the Dr. Scientist BitQuest, into the Qi, into the Technician. So with only, the Gnome on, this is what that sounds like. Oh, and that's going into my SSL12 interface, and it's what we got. Cool. All right, so here's the sound I found on the BitQuest, and this is what we got. I like that little syncopated choppy thing. Ryan O'Neill, nice job. But like I said, I wanted some thickness, so the Qi came out. So then, we'll turn that off. And sorry, y'all, the BitQuest has to come off too, because I was realizing this, that, if we keep the BitQuest on, I would love it. But I would inevitably get some comments of people not being able to differentiate between what the Qi is doing and the Technician is doing. Fair, and I hear you, so here we go. Let's quick start then, and let's get this Qi turned to just the delay, and so we can compare delays. And the way you do that is, watch this. So I held those buttons down. I also have the Qi going in parallel. That's what I want to do. Held those buttons down, the chorus is off, the grain is off, and then I had to roll the space down. So here is just the delay. To the Technician. So I think as mentioned before, the Qi only has that one delay sound. It's just a clean digital. It's great, but that's all it is. The Technician has more. So if I bounce through, the first one is just the classic digital. It is a dual mono. It is not quite stereo. When you start getting into some of the other versions, you kind of get that stereo vibe. So here's what we got on that. Here is reverse. If I turn it on, here's reverse. Mix up a little more. Now to granular. Then to resample. Cool. So tap divisions, the Technician does one more. It does a half note, whereas the Qi doesn't. The Qi just does quarter, dotted eighth, and eighth, and the Technician adds that half note in. So let's jump over to the reverb side, because again, the Qi has one reverb and the Technician has four. So right, let me get that reverb up. Cranking that up just kind of gives more of everything, right? You get more decay and more reverb, just more. It's just more. It's a more knob. Here is the hall. Let's see, set it to kind of set everything like there at noon. Just mess with that clock knob. Here's some plate. What they call chasm. And grim, which brings octave into it. Cool. So plate's my favorite. It's going to go there. Now, this is where it gets interesting because on the Qi, what you have on the Qi is a dedicated chorus. So if we turn the space off, hold that chorus back on, you got chorus. A trichorus and a stereo chorus. Okay, so the only way to get something like this on the Technician is to go into some of the modulators, and either on the reverb or the delay. So to make this work, we're going to bring the delay back in onto the Qi and keep it in series. Yeah. Okay, so. All right, let's build this on the Technician. So let's turn the Qi off and get the Technician to, I guess, to digital mode on the delay. There we go. Now I need to I think, tap this bad boy. Yep, once. That puts me in modulators. And I know that vibrato on the delay mode is LED off, so we're going to leave that off. And let's do the mix and the rate to try and match where we are stereo-wise. Or, sorry, to match that on the chorus for the Qi. Do our best. If we switch to parallel, does that change it? A little bit. So difference there. So like, again, on the Qi, you can get chorus just by itself. You can't do that on the Technician. Now, let's see. We'll turn the chorus. We'll leave it on. Leave it as it is. And now let's talk with the grain cloud or the phrase sampler. That's where we kind of have to get a little tricky on things. So with the Technician. So let's get the mix on the reverb back up on both and play around. So right now, let's see where we are with the Qi. Got some reverb in there. Okay. Technician. All right, but what I think we're going to do is to kind of really get creative on the Technician. We're going to go to the resample mode on the delay. Let's see if that vibrato is still in play. Yes, it is. Now, maybe granular's better. So then I guess in this instance, we'll put the Qi on grain cloud, not phrase sample.